Sonic Roundup, the Sonic Roundup, our Lord Savior, the Sonic Roundup.
Alright, so it's your boy, and we're back with another episode of the Sonic Roundup. You know, the show where I combine a bunch of different Sonic news topics into one big video. Now, it's been a while since I did the last one, not too long, but nonetheless, we've got a bunch of shit that we need to talk about because it seems the multimedia front is itching to give us some shit, and we have to talk about all this right now. But if you subscribe to the channel already, please make sure to subscribe, okay? This video is sponsored by the Ugreen Revo Dock Pro USB-C docking station. Now, this dock is amazing, has 13-in-1 connectivity and universal compatibility. It's so simple to use. It goes into your laptop's USB-C port and it adds 2 HDMI ports, a display port, a 10 gigabits per second USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 port, 2 10 gigabit USB-A ports, 2 5 gigabit USB-A ports, a 100-watt power delivery charging port, and of course a 3.5mm audio jack. Not to mention an Ethernet port and an SD card reader. This is the perfect device to connect your laptop to an external monitor or TV, and with Windows, you can get triple displays in beautiful 4K. And of course, with all those USB ports, transferring files to your computer or from multiple different SSDs is going to be a breeze. And with the up to 100 watts stable pass-through charging, you can charge your device straight through the dock. I mean, this thing is more versatile than a Swiss Army knife. So make sure to get your hands on this awesome Ugreen Revo Dock Pro USB-C docking station. The links will be in the description below. So yes, it's basically a multimedia day today because everything coming out right now is multimedia news. Now, some of it's been out for like days, maybe even weeks, you know, but it was small pieces of news. I didn't want to just cover them separately. I couldn't be bothered. You know, if it's game news, I'll be right on that shit, but it's multimedia. I still care about the multimedia, but the point is, this concerns Sonic movie, this concerns Knuckles, this concerns Shadow, like, it's big shit. Okay, now the first one is huge. Now I would give you a spoiler warning, but I'm not gonna show any spoilers. But it says here, storyboards for upcoming Sonic Movie 3 and Knuckles miniseries were wiped from the web following massive leak. This is from Tails channel. It says a substantial number of storyboards for Paramount Pictures' upcoming live-action film Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and the online exclusive Knuckles the Echidna miniseries for Paramount Plus were leaked on the internet late Thursday. This is from January 12th. I told you it's been a while, right? They said 906 pages from 3 portable documents were uncovered and reshared on social media platforms like Reddit, Discord, and Twitter. The vast majority of the reshares were taken down by unattributed copyright notices, which seems to imply a form of verification to some to everyone. Literally, of course they're legit. God, Tails channel, man. Anyway, the leak detailed entire spoiler-heavy scenes that feature characters officially announced to appear in both projects, including Shadow the Hedgehog and Knuckles the Echidna. Tails channel elected not to disclose any descriptions due to we don't want Paramount on our asses, as well as an individual's identity linked to the storyboards. Now again, I'm not going to discuss exactly what was in there because they took a lot of the shit down, and when it was first leaked, I mean, I skimmed through a little bit of it, but it was 906 pages. I didn't really look at everything, and quite frankly, if it's gone now, it's gone, okay? I could look, but it's like, I can't be bothered. But from what I gathered from the little bit that I saw, it's like, if you played the games around that era, like the SA2 Shadow era, it's kind of like that, right? That kind of just SA2 Shadow Sonic X era, it's kind of that kind of shit, which is what we would expect for something like this, right? And yeah, of course, I 100% believe it's real because, I mean, Paramount took it down from everywhere. They weren't playing around. And when they do that, you know it's real. I mean, I've covered Paramount leaks before because there were movie 2 leaks, there was movie 1 leaks, and they all got taken. Okay, that's not true. Movie 1 leaks didn't get taken down because back then, they didn't have the juice. They didn't know the movie was going to be so huge, right? But movie 2, they were rampant. Any leak that we covered, they took that shit down. Copyright strike, you know, so that's why I'm not showing anything on the screen right now. But yeah, it should be interesting to see. And there's another reason why it's going to be interesting, because you got another piece of information that suggests that Sonic Movie 3 will be PG-12 rated according to a Slovakian film rating website. And you can see the screenshot here of the website that they're talking about. And when translated, it says age accessibility from 12 years, country of origin USA, which naturally led people to go, oh, that means the Maria shit is going to happen. Like, they're not playing around, okay? Because like, we thought it was going to be like, they have to keep the shit PG, so Shadow's going to have to be toned back. But they're like, if this shit PG-12, then they're not joking around. Because I mean, I think in America they don't even have PG-12. It's like PG-13. In the UK we have 12 or 12A, which means if you're under 12 you have to go with an adult. If it's just 12 on its own, then you gotta be 12. Anyway, it seems, yeah, when it comes to Maria, that child is getting shot. Okay, okay, this is no joke. They're gonna take the shit seriously, and Sonic Sonic movie 3 does have the potential to be the best Sonic movie of the three. I mean, obviously it's going to be 1, let's be real, but 2 was pretty solid. Solid 7.5 in my opinion, which for a movie is pretty high. And if they're ready to like take the shit to a more darker level, then the odds of it being stronger is definitely higher, especially with the kind of things that are going to be going on in this movie. Like, let's be real, like that SA2 plot is going to be very interesting to see. But some people are not happy about this, right? Because they want to pretend that they are children. So we've got a change.org petition with 376 signatures, and it says, change the rating of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. It says, rumor has it that the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is set to be rated PG-13 due to the fact that Shadow the Hedgehog made his debut in the sequel's post-credit scene. Some fans accept that rating, while others fear that destructively dark content might harm young viewers. For example, we predict that foul language, sexual content, and/or murder might occur in this film. We need to tell Paramount and Sega to change the rating to PG, just like the first 2 movies. Shut up, bitch! No one gives a fuck, okay? Listen, the fuck is wrong with you, okay? No one wants this thing to be under PG-13, well, except for 376 signatures. But like, what? No one cares about that shit, okay? Let's get the stories deeper and deeper and deeper. This is SA2. This ain't colors, okay? We need the shit. This is bound to happen. We're entering the adventure era. The shit is gonna get darker, right? Movie 2 was like Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That shit was not dark, okay? Knuckles got betrayed by Eggman. Knuckles was playing around with Sonic and Co, whatever. And then we realized that, oh, Eggman's actually bad. And then Knuckles stopped, being on Eggman's side. That's a light story. And I enjoyed movie 2. But we can't do that with Shadow. We can't PG-ify Shadow. We're not gonna do that shit, okay? Let this shit be what it needs to be. Let it have the darkness it needs. I'm not saying it's gotta be like an 18+ movie. I'm not saying that. But like PG-13 or 12 in my country is good, okay? And I've watched 12 movies even when I was that age. There's nothing crazy. It's not the end of the world, right? Like, let's be real. Like, Hancock is a 12 movie in the UK. I watched that shit, it came out when I was 12. So like, I watched Hancock in the cinema when I was 12, and it wasn't anything crazy. Although I kind of almost cried in the Death and Transfiguration scene. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was hitting though. Death and Transfiguration is a goated song. Like, in terms of film scores, Death and Transfiguration is #1 for me, like, ever. But this is not a video about why Hancock is my favorite movie ever. I mean, I get that's an unpopular opinion, but that's not what we're here to talk about. The point is, I'm looking forward to Sonic movie 3, and I think it's gonna be a highlight of this year, right? We might actually need it just in case the Sonic and Shadow game is mid in November, and we got this movie in December to like cleanse us, right? Not to say that a movie could replace a game, they're 2 different things, but you know what it is. And it seems Paramount knows what it is as well, because they're banking big on Shadow, because we got another topic again with the multimedia, and they're saying Shadow could have a spin-off in the works. It says here, rumor, Sonic the Hedgehog movie franchise has big spin-off plans for Shadow. The Sonic the Hedgehog movie franchise has exciting plans for Shadow if rumors about Paramount's ideas for the fan favorite character are true. It says Paramount Pictures is reportedly developing a Sonic spin-off project centered around Shadow the Hedgehog, a popular character among fans. Shadow could potentially carry a solo movie or be prominently featured in a Sonic TV spin-off. While it's still speculative, fans can anticipate an official announcement from Paramount regarding Shadow the Hedgehog and be excited about the franchise's potential future direction. While Sonic the Hedgehog got off to a rocky start while they released this version, oh my god, this is like the new 06. This is like the multimedia 06. Like, you start the article off with this shit, like, remember the design of the first movie was shit, This is the new 06 method. Yes, the design was hideous. We get it. They were idiots. Can we move on, please? It was 4 years ago. It was actually more than 4 years ago. It was 2019 was when they changed it, right? And then the movie came out 2020. It's like 5 years ago. It's half a decade ago. Like, this is crazy. Anyway, it says, while it wasn't a hit with every viewer, there was enough enjoyment from the sequel, specifically Jim Carrey's stellar return performance, to allow for contention as to whether Sonic the Hedgehog was better than the sequel. There was no contention. The sequel was superior to the first movie. What are you guys smoking on? What? The first movie was inferior to the sequel. Like, in almost every way. Like, maybe Jim Carrey got more spotlight in the first movie, I'll give you that, but like, it was not better than the sequel, which is ridiculous, okay? While there are questions about where the Sonic movies can go from here, the sequel's character introduction might be a clue as to another path the studio might explore. According to well-known source Daniel Richmond via his Patreon, Paramount Pictures is embarking on a new Sonic spin-off project revolving around Shadow the Hedgehog. While the source doesn't specify whether the project being developed is a movie or TV show, there's no doubt that Shadow is set to feature prominently in the franchise's future, with the character being insanely popular amongst core fans of the series and having a lot of obvious appeal for new young fans of the property that came in from the movies. While the character will feature prominently alongside already established cast in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, there's no doubt that Shadow could carry a solo Sonic the Hedgehog movie. A TV show or solo film outside the mainline theatrical offerings could also get some character development for a more fleshed out introduction. This seems more in line with the general trends of the industry. While the source is generally pretty trustworthy, they're saying the source is trustworthy, this is all just speculation at this point, and fans can add a potential official announcement from Paramount concerning Shadow the Hedgehog to the list of things to expect from Sonic in 2024. How prominently Shadow will feature in the future direction of the franchise might still be up in the air, but fans can certainly be excited about the potential. Now, what do I think about this? Do I think Shadow is actually going to get his own show or movie? The answer is a resounding yes. I mean, this sounds very believable, right? I mean, if Knuckles is getting a TV show and he's Knuckles, then Shadow definitely get one, right? Shadow's more popular than Knuckles, let's be real, okay? Shadow got his own game. I mean, Knuckles got Knuckles Chaotix, but he shared a game of Chaotix, come on. I mean, the Chaotix were in Shadow the Hedgehog, but you know what I mean, okay? Shadow got a main entry. Like, they try and act like it wasn't a main entry because it flopped, but yeah, it was basically a main entry. But let me not get into the debate between main series and spin-off. The point is that everyone knows Shadow's a fan favorite, and if Knuckles can get a TV show, then Shadow can definitely get a TV show, right? I wouldn't mind if it was a movie though, something like the Batman, you know, some dark shit. Like, I'd be here for that either way. But I guess it depends on the story they want to tell, right? Like, is it better told as a TV show? Is it better told as a movie? That's up to them to decide. Maybe they make a TV show with 10 possible endings depending on which direction you go, and then you find your way, right? Right? But if it's Shadow and it's written well and voiced well, then I'm here for it and I'm looking forward to seeing it regardless, right? The only way I don't see something like this happening is if the Knuckles show comes out and bombs so heavily that they're like, maybe we should hold off on more character spin-offs, right? Let's just do this on, right? If the Knuckles show comes out and does decently well, then I don't see why they wouldn't go, Shadow will make more money than Knuckles, right? Like, I don't see why they wouldn't do that. And speaking of voices, we've got some interesting shit to talk about again regarding the multimedia, and that is Shadow's voice. Now, I tried to find the source for this, and apparently it's the same guy with the Patreon. This Daniel Richmond dude keeps leaking this shit. And this guy is saying that Hayden Christensen is going to be the voice of Shadow in Sonic Movie 3? Now, if you don't know who he is, he played Anakin Skywalker in a lot of the Star Wars movies. I haven't really watched Star Wars like that. Like, I watched the first one, and he wasn't alive when that came out. So, you know, for those of you hardcore Star Wars fans, like, they were making all sorts of memes about this. But, like, for me, who hasn't really watched all of the movies, like, I don't really recognize him like that. He was in Jumper, though. I did watch Jumper. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what he's been in. What matters is his voice right, or they're just picking someone with clout? Now, Cyber101 on Twitter has made a tweet with a video comparing both voice actors, and by both voice actors I mean of course Hayden Christensen and David Humphrey from SA2, and he says Hayden Christensen sounds pretty similar to David Humphrey's Shadow. I'd be down for this. Thoughts? And I'll play a little bit of the clips here.
Hold on. This whole operation was your idea.
We don't have to run away anymore. I have brought peace to the Republic.
This is the end for you, my master.
Since you were so kind to release me, my master, I will grant you one wish.
But yeah, just listening to these clips, I mean, he sounds pretty similar to David Humphrey. Like, they're going for that more emotional Shadow, because we know Griffith was the darker Shadow, right? He gave off that more edgier vibe, whereas like David Humphrey was a bit more, you felt like the empathy and the emotion and the anger all mixed into one. It was a different kind of Shadow voice, and I love David Humphrey's Shadow voice as well. And for this kind of movie that's focusing on that SA2 type shit, I guess it makes sense that they'll go that route, and I'm all for it, man. I mean, I don't know what his vocal direction is gonna be like for the movie. They've taken clips from other things. It's entirely possible that his vocal direction for the movie sounds different to what is here, but different could be better, different could be worse. I mean, we'll have to hear it and find out. But so far, I think Paramount have done a good job of picking voices for the Sonic characters anyway, so I don't see how this would be bad, right? I mean, their casting has been pretty decent, right? Jim Carrey for Robotnik was a great pick. Ben Schwartz for Sonic was a decent pick. I mean, it could have been better, but I think he was a pretty decent Sonic voice. And of course, they got Colleen for Tails, so that's a pretty high pick. And Knuckles, Idris Elba knocked it out of the park, man. So like, I feel like they're not just going for who's got the most clout on calling it a day, because they could have easily like, let's get The Rock, right? And you know, The Rock will just bring in numbers because he's The Rock, right? I'm not saying interested in bringing numbers, I'm just saying like The Rock would have been crazy. But the point is, I trust that they're gonna get a voice that actually fits and not just a voice that's going to get butts in seats, right? So thankfully, no Chris Pratt as Shadow or some fuck shit like that. And man, we're not done in the multimedia news, because the episode titles of the Knuckles TV show have been revealed. 6 episodes we're gonna go through the names, but we all know what we're really here for, which is episode 4's name. Anyway, episode 1 is called The Warrior. We're guessing that's Knuckles, right? Episode 2's name was Don't Say I Wasn't There For You. Episode 3 is The Shabbat Dinner. After doing some Googles, apparently that's the Jewish day of rest. I don't know what that's to do with Knuckles. Is Knuckles Jewish? I thought he was black. Well, he could be black Jewish, right? I mean, shout out. Wait, Drake is black Jewish, right? Anyway, Drake coming to the Knuckles show? And anyway, episode 4, we'll get back to that in a sec. Episode 5 says Reno, baby. And episode 6 says what happens in Reno stays in Reno, which is like Vegas, right? Vegas, baby. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But anyway, episode 4 is the Flames of Disaster. We're talking 06. We're talking Iblis, okay? We are talking Iblis. They are bringing back the GOAT, okay? They are bringing back Iblis into the Knuckles show, right? Like, come on, right? Like, we need this shit, okay? Are we gonna get Elise? I'm just saying, if we're costing Elise, like, I mean, look, Sydney Sweeney, I think she could do a good job. I'm just saying. Although it seems like it's too soon for 06, right? Because Sonic Movie 3 is like that SA2 Shadow the Hedgehog era, right? So you're thinking like Sonic Movie 4 would be like the GOAT heroes, you do Metal Sonic and Neo Metal Sonic and Metal Overlord, all that shit. Then Sonic Movie 5 is like, okay, now we bringing in Silver, Flames of Disaster, like, you know, but look, I'm here for it, right? If the 06 shit's happening, I'm here for it. We are here front and center. We're gonna be at the front of the cinema. Okay, not the front of the cinema, because that shit is just bad for your neck, bad for your eyes. Like, you gotta sit further back. Like, I've sat front of the cinema before. It's not a good experience. But we're gonna be middle back of the cinema, enjoying this shit on day 1, okay? I'm forgetting it's a TV show. If it's a TV show, we're gonna be on the sofa, day 1, okay? But yeah, today's pretty much been a multimedia frenzy of information. Like, a lot of shit potentially happening. We still need a release date for this Knuckles TV show. They've been dragging this shit out. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Sonic Movie 3 gets pushed into 2025 as well. They better not start encroaching upon that GTA 6, you know, Mario Kart 10 kind of release period, because once you start getting into 2025, it's gonna be hectic, okay? 2024 is the calm before the storm. I mean, we call this shit the calm, but it's the furthest thing from calm. Like, this year's already started off pretty hectic in terms of gaming. Like, this Power World shit, like, they're showing this is the same shit I wanted to happen to Sonic. I have to go on a Power World run, because like, this is the same shit I wanted to happen to Sonic. I wanted some company to just step in, some indie team to come out, make something better than what Sonic team is making, put it out, and then everyone just go crazy and then outsell Sonic, and then people be like, oh shit, if we put out quality products, people will show up. It's exactly what I wanted. But it's happening to Pokemon, of course. It's not happening to Sonic. But, I mean, Spark 3 is better than any Sonic team made game since Generations. But it obviously didn't sell nowhere near as much. But this Power World shit is exactly what I wanted for Sonic. Just like some indie team to just show up with a bunch of flash drives and small budget and just prove that you can make something fire if you put in the work, okay? I just, this is exactly what I wanted to see for Sonic. And one day it's gonna happen. If Sonic team keep fucking around. The Sonic and Shadow 2024 game better be fire. No more excuses, no more bullshit. No cut corners, no green hill, no chemical plant, no sky sanctuary, no classic bitch. But it's only January. We'll get to the game shit soon. Don't worry. February, March, once we get closer to that E3 season, we're still calling it that. Now we'll see, okay? But let me know what you guys think about all of this shit right now, okay? Storyboard leaks, PG-13 movie, Shadow movie or TV show spinoff, Shadow voice, Knuckles TV show leak. Like, it's going crazy right now, okay? And I'm here for it. And of course, a big shout out to all the channel members. If you want to become a channel member, you can click the join button next to the subscribe button. But yeah, man, that's what I have to say right now. So, Premy out.